So you have PCOS and you're trying to figure out the best way to exercise. And if you've looked online, you've probably felt, well, completely overwhelmed. It feels like there's so much conflicting advice out there, right? Don't worry. In this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and get straight to what the science actually tells us.
Right? I mean, should you be doing intense cardio, lifting heavy weights? Is HIIT really the magic bullet everyone says it is? The internet is just flooded with opinions, and honestly, it's enough to make your head spin. So, what is the real answer here? All right, so let's piece this together. Before we can even talk about the best exercise, we really need to understand why exercise is such a game changer for managing PCOS in the first place. Okay, so at its heart, PCOS is a metabolic and endocrine condition. And the amazing thing about exercise is that it's like a targeted tool that goes right after the main issues. We're talking about things like improving insulin resistance, boosting your metabolic health, and helping to balance out your hormones. Now, that insulin resistance piece is a really big deal. It's when your body's cells kind of stop listening to insulin, which makes it super hard to manage your blood sugar. And get this, it affects up to 70% of women with PCOS. It's a huge driver behind a lot of the symptoms.
So let's jump into the most common recommendation you hear everywhere, cardio. But, this is where the debate really starts to heat up. Should you be pushing yourself to the max with high intensity? Or is a slower, more moderate pace the way to go? Yeah, HIIT, or high-intensity interval training, gets so much attention, and you can see why. It's incredibly time-efficient, and it creates this cool effect called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. Fancy name, but it just means your body keeps burning calories for hours after you've finished your workout. I mean, on paper, it sounds like the perfect answer, doesn't it? Well, hold on. A recent, pretty massive scientific review decided to really put that idea to the test. Researchers pulled together the data from 16 different studies to do a head-to-head comparison. They pitted HIIT against its less intense cousin, moderate intensity steady-state exercise, which, we'll just call MISS for short. And what they found, well, it's pretty fascinating. If you look at the results here, it tells a really clear story. For the women with PCOS in this analysis, the moderate intensity group actually saw more significant improvements across the board. Take a look. They got a real measurable boost in their cardiorespiratory fitness. They saw actual reductions in their BMI and waist circumference. And, crucially, a big drop in fasting insulin. But here's the kicker. The review found that HIIT just didn't produce the same level of statistically significant results in these areas. This really suggests that for PCOS, a steady, moderate pace might be even more effective than going all out. But, cardio isn't the whole story. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the unsung hero of PCOS management, strength training. This is an incredibly powerful tool that, honestly, gets overlooked way too often. See, the old school advice of just spending hours and hours on a treadmill, it can actually backfire. Doing too much of that long, drawn-out cardio can sometimes spike cortisol, that's our main stress hormone, and over time, it can even start to break down your muscle tissue. And that's a big problem, because less muscle means a slower metabolism. And this is exactly where strength training comes in and saves the day. First, you build lean muscle. That new muscle tissue is metabolically active, which basically means it's burning more calories for you, even when you're just sitting on the couch. This naturally boosts your overall metabolism, which is so important since studies show women with PCOS can have a slower metabolic rate. And maybe the most important part, those new muscles are hungry. They need fuel, so they start pulling sugar or glucose from your bloodstream to get that energy. And by doing that, they're directly helping your body become more sensitive to insulin. It's a total win-win. Okay, so we've talked about what to do and how intense it should be. But what about when you do it? Does the time of day you work out actually make a difference? Well, as you can see here, there are definitely pros to both. A morning workout can be awesome for syncing up with your body's natural rhythm and giving you a big energy boost for the rest of the day. But then again, an evening workout can be a fantastic way to unwind and de-stress after a long day, and for a lot of us, it just fits into a busy schedule better. So here's the bottom line, the most crucial takeaway. The research pretty clearly shows that the hormonal and metabolic benefits are really, really similar no matter what time you exercise. The biggest factor isn't what the clock says. It's just showing up and doing the work. Consistency is king. And that brings us to what's probably the most important point of this whole conversation. How do we take all this science and build a routine that actually works for you, one that's sustainable and that you won't dread doing? So what does that actually look like in practice?
Here's a simple blueprint to get you started. First, and this is the big one, aim for consistency above all else. Remember, the best workout in the world is the one you actually do. Second, try to mix things up. A great goal is combining that moderate intensity cardio we talked about with about 2 to 5 resistance training sessions a week. Third, and this is so important, listen to your body. Find activities you genuinely enjoy. It could be dancing, hiking, lifting, whatever. If you like it, you're going to stick with it. And finally, focus on making it sustainable. The goal here isn't to create some perfect rigid plan. It's just about making steady, sustainable progress. So at the end of the day, maybe we need to reframe that big question we started with. Instead of asking, what's the perfect workout? Let's ask, what's the perfect workout for me? It's not about finding some one-size-fits-all magic bullet. It's about finding that unique combination of movement that feels good for your body, fits into your life, and ultimately helps you feel your absolute best.